A second morning in the Kruger, and the road runs straight to the edge of the world. There are no crowds out here, no schedule, only the bush, the weather, and a thin ribbon of tar disappearing into the green. Today we simply drive and see what the park decides to show us. The Kruger is laced with almost 3,000 kilometers of road, tar and gravel both, threading between rivers and hills and waterholes. You could drive it for 2 weeks and never take the same route twice. The map is the only thing standing between you and getting wonderfully, completely lost. There is one rule that matters above all others. You stay in your vehicle. Out here you are the visitor and the guest, and every animal has the right of way. The car becomes a quiet hide on wheels, and the moment you stop chasing, the bush begins to come to you. And here is the most common sight of all: Impala scattered along the verge in their hundreds. There are perhaps 150,000 of them in the park, more than any other antelope, the graceful, nervous engine that feeds nearly every predator in the lowveld. The old guides call them the bread of the bushveld. Five great rivers cross the Kruger from west to east: the Limpopo, the Luvuvhu, the Olifants, the Sabie, and the Crocodile. We rumble over one of them on a low-water bridge, the kind built to sit just above the stream and to vanish completely when the river decides to rise. This is the height of the green season. The summer storms pile up over the hills every afternoon, the floodplains shine, and the whole lowveld is fat and wet and alive. It is the hardest time to find the big animals and the most beautiful time to be looking. And then the bush makes its decision. An elephant walking the center line of the road ahead of us in no hurry at all. There is nothing to do but slow down, switch off, and follow at a respectful distance. The largest land animal on Earth owns this tar, and he knows it. He turns off at last into the trees, and the road opens up again. Mile after mile of wet bush slides past, marula and knobthorn and tall summer grass, the windscreen wipers keeping time. Out here, the driving itself becomes the thing you came for. By late afternoon, every road bends toward a rest camp. The largest is Skukuza, set on the banks of the Sabie River, a village of thatched rondavels behind a fence, where you can sleep inside the wild and hear the lions calling in the dark. The gates close at dusk, and the park is handed back to its owners for the night. Climb to higher ground, and the true scale of the place opens out. Grass plains running to a wall of blue hills, a horizon with no road, no roof, no wire in it anywhere. The Kruger is the size of a small nation, and from up here you can almost feel it. Not everything out here is at peace. The Kruger has been the front line of a long, quiet war for the rhino, hunted to the edge for the myth in its horn. In little more than a decade, the park lost more than half of them, and today armed rangers patrol the bush at night to guard the survivors. Every rhino you are lucky enough to see is a small victory. So you learn to look properly. You stop at a rise, lift the binoculars, and read the bush the way the guides do, a flick of an ear, a shape that is too still, a shadow under a distant tree. Half of the Kruger is learning to see what was in front of you all along. And much of it is simply quiet. Long stretches where nothing crosses your path but the weather, and the only sound is rain on the roof and tires on wet tar. The park does not perform for you. It lets you in and asks you to be patient. The light begins to go, and the road carries on into the haze. Somewhere ahead is a gate, and a camp, and a fire. Behind us is a whole day of bush we will never quite be able to describe to anyone who was not in the car. That is the Kruger, not a zoo and not a show, but a wilderness you drive into and let surprise you. If you want to keep wandering roads like this one, follow along and let us keep exploring the world together.